How
That's
you doing,
good.
Joe?
Yeah, great. Having a cracking day. It's been a good day so far. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I saw June last night, so I'm still a bit trying to get it all in my head. So that was quite an experience at the IMAX. So that was good.
Oh, can't wait to see that. A friend, Sharon Duncan Brewster's in it.
She's very good. She's very good.
She's a legend. I met her when I was doing the Mimic, and she's soaring high now. I love her. We love Shazza.
Good old Shazza.
Smashing it.
Congratulations on the film, sweetheart.
Thank you.
It's very, very good. I feel like I saw it a long time ago. I think I saw it when it was at BFI Flair earlier in the year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we did it a couple of years ago. I've done like 7 projects since then. I feel very, very confused with everything.
Yeah,
I
so
went, I
Sophia
went the other.
did that because obviously she did that little independent Marvel thing afterwards, you know.
Do it.
She did.
My God, she's amazing. Like we went on Monday. I think it was Monday that we had the screening at the BFI, and everyone was so kind. Honestly, it was lovely. Scott, people came and gave us great feedback. We did a Q&A, myself, Nell, and Marley. So it's been a great film to work on and be a part of, and a great character to play.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I didn't realize you guys had a Q&A already, which is great. It's always nice when that happens, especially
Yeah, it was like
now when people can actually come back to see you all in person.
yeah, it was lovely. It was like a little sort of premiere, I guess, and the tickets went out, so that was nice.
That's good. So take me back to when you first received the script. How did it come about? Did you know Marley's work beforehand, or was it just one of those that just came in on a pile and you just read it and loved it?
Yeah, I wish I was a pile. I love that bit on. It came in, sent it to me with all the short films that Marley had done attached. I always do lots of research, so I did that. Then I started to read the script, loved it. It was really authentic and original and kind of fun. And I really, just kind of reached out back to my agent and said, I'd like to meet Marley. I loved the script. I thought it was great and refreshing. And I kind of met up with Marley and Michelle, the producer, and I just knew, she was invested and smart and she had great taste in film. She was a big fan of This Is England. But I loved the script. I thought it was important. I thought it was light-hearted and fun, but I thought the stories within that were told really well and they were important. And I also found my character, she's got her own journey within there. It's quite similar to AJ's, really. She's meant to be this kind of grumpy, moany mum, but actually she's quite a fun character to play because everything's done with irony, and she's also struggling herself to try and manage a family, financial insecurity, a breakup, and she has her own little fling with the magician. So that's fun.
It certainly does.
I mean, how can she be judging her daughter when she's going through the same thing? So I loved the story because it was all about family dynamics and navigating relationships, and the way that we basically, the solution is love, and we come together and we kind of accept everybody and each other, and let people do what they've got to do and just be there to support them.
Yeah, I do wonder what it'd be like to date a magician, whether they'd always be like on.
Abracadabra, you've gone.
Don't, yeah, don't give Ricky Gervais any ideas because he'll write into one of his shows dating a magician.
Oh.
I could just picture him doing something with, like, a bit seedy but very funny. I don't know why. My head.
It's a genius, isn't he? It's good. It's such an honor to work with him. He's so good. So much fun working with those guys. I love doing comedy. That's why I loved Sweetheart as well. There was lots of, although it's quite a deep sort of heavy story for a teenager, it was done in a light-hearted sort of way. Very nostalgic for me as well, because I grew up and went to lots of Butlins, Pontins, all those holiday camps, and I loved it. So, and Marley had watched a lot of John Hughes films and was inspired by that, and it just, the colours and the design and the whole cast really and the crew were just phenomenal. There's no money in that film, so everyone was there for the same primary purpose, and I love doing people's first feature film. It's always it's a magical experience because it's never going to happen again for them. And Dead Man's Shoes was my first feature film. It wasn't Shane's, but they had a special experience with it, and I like to experience that objectively for others, and it's quite good. So yeah, it's a good response we've had.
Yeah, and Sophia was telling me that you guys all were literally camped out on the caravan sites together while you were making it. That must be fun as well, that you get to do something like that and get to bond, doing something that you're actually doing as part of the filmmaking process.
Yes, and I spent my 28 pence on a can of drink, a can of pop that I got paid for the film, so that was good.
What did you go
No,
for?
yeah, no, I think it was Fanta orange. I don't know. It wasn't
Or a
even that
Fanta?
nice. Goodness, right. No, I loved being there because in the morning you'd get up and it's a sunrise, sunset at night. It actually, I love all that stuff. As long as I've got a comfortable bed and I can be clean and I can be fed, I'm actually all right with stuff. And those kind of experiences, like I said, they're not like you go do Afterlife and all the rest of it with all the nice frills, but it's kind of like the location where we were on the holiday part. I think I had a nice caravan, and in the morning you'd see the sun rising and then the beach, and it was just quite magical and beautiful. Like the sun and the ocean was very inspiring to work beside. So that was nice. It was quite glam.
Quite, yeah, it sounds quite glam considering it was had 28p cans of Fanta.
got paid in Snickers bars, cans of Coke.
I did want to ask you about Nell. Now, I hadn't seen her in anything before, and she's fantastic in the film. And like Marley, she's obviously new to the process and everything else. But what was it like working with her? Because as you say, it's there's quite a lot in terms of the character, but as you say, there's a light-hearted touch to it. But there's still a lot for her character's processing quite a lot. So how do you think she did, and what was she like to work with?
I mean, I thought she did amazingly. Like I said, no budget. Everybody's there for the same reason. I love to support indie film and new filmmakers. That's what happened to me. And I think it was Nell's first feature. I went to see a play she was in that she wrote and performed in herself. And I just knew from that moment that she's quite a magical, invested little actress. She was very sort of professional. She was really invested in the preparation, had a great imagination. She would talk, we would talk a lot about the scenes. Had a lot of phone calls. I made a playlist. She also we did a backstory together, and we nurtured a relationship so it would be real on camera, and we spoke a lot to Marley. She carried that film in a way that was so humble and graceful. She didn't have much time to prepare, but she really committed to everything. Like, she had a haircut. They had a really lovely long hair. They cut her hair off. She spent a lot of time with Marley and myself talking through the character, and she did a lot of her own research. So yeah, hats off to her, really. She did a great job. It's a big responsibility to carry a feature. I've just done an indie film called Sweet Caroline where I played the lead, and I'm in every single scene, and there's a lot of responsibility there. I mean, it's a very enjoyable job. We're acting, okay, we're not saving the world, but you don't take yourself seriously, but you want to take your role seriously.
Mm.
You want to give the audience the best experience you can, and you want to tell the truth within that role. And I think that's what Nell found. She did everything she could to find the authenticity of AJ, and I think she carried it off really well.
Yeah, and just in terms of the film, I said this to Sophia the other day. It's coming out at a time. Today we've got everybody's talking about Jamie. Next week this film's coming out, and it seems that we're slowly but surely getting a lot more films that are talking about diversity and embracing yourself, and being true to yourself and all that kind of stuff. Even if you're a teenager, or whether you're 60 or 70, whatever it is. So how important do you think that is, that we're slowly seeing more and more of these things, and they're being taken maybe a little bit more seriously than they were 20 years ago, maybe?
It's great. Mark Herbert did Jamie, didn't it? I want to see that. It's great. Okay, so what I love about this story, it's a female story. It's by a female director. It's great that can happen. A lot of positive. It's very important. What I love though about this and the whole human experience is Tina's having an experience as well as AJ. And that brings us down to the bare principles of humanity and the experience we go through spiritually together. Like, it's really powerful to see a variety of stories being told by a variety of people. This is what life is, and this is what we need film to be. I loved it that with the BAFTA, the new review and the way we've done things there, it's the having to watch specific films to get people to watch different films, because people will just watch what they used to, or just put something on that's got a lot of press or publicity or well known. But actually we need to have this variety because life is full of it, and it's all about the love, really, and telling stories that resonate with us. I always feel good when I get identification. There's different stories I go to for different experiences, but this is one that I think will definitely appeal to a wide variety of people. It's not just about sexuality and first love. It's about family. It's about struggles. It's about, you know, your first holiday experience. It's about everything. And it's about, I guess, you know, rejection, fighting the odds, courage, you know, overcoming things, and ultimately love and the solution, and navigating that that amend that her and her mother has, and also with Isla, you know, Ella was amazing. They were all brilliant. So it's quite a smart little film. It doesn't throw it down your neck, you know. It's like, it's light and bright, but it's got a good message.
Yeah, very well measured is this little film. It's great. Before you go, I just did want to ask you about, we mentioned about Ricky, obviously doing Afterlife. He's doing season 3, which is a bit of an abnormal thing for him because he doesn't tend to do, he hasn't done a season 3 of anything before. So
yes,
is he feeling the pressure in a different way this time, or do you think he's delivered? It's going to surprise people just what he's been able to deliver for this first season 3 that he's ever done.
Well, firstly, he must have loved us all to do a 3rd season, right?
Yeah.
Or do you think I think he did it for the fans, right?
I mean, that's what he'd say, I guess.
also there's such a great cast and an ensemble. He always says this himself. There's many stories in there. I don't know how Ricky's feeling. I really couldn't speculate that, and it doesn't seem like he has pressure, because he's very easygoing and lovely, and he takes it all super cool. He takes it in his stride, but I definitely know he would have considered it before he did it. And I've seen it, and I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. And I you know, I'm a small part of a great whole there, but very grateful to be a part of something so profound and wonderful, light-hearted, funny, and magical. And it's a piece of relaxed genius, isn't it? It's almost like effortless. But what I started to read on Twitter from some of the fans and people that had analysed the story, it was like, wow, there's more to this than I even knew. And I was invited into the edit, you know, the privilege of going into the edit. And honestly, I'm excited for people to see it. It just keeps getting better and better, and so does Ricky. So hopefully I will too.
I'm sure, of course you are. Come on now. Come on,
let's do it. We get better as we get older. Don't stop caring about what others think, and we start behaving better. We're not naughty anymore.
Yeah, 100%. That's good. That's good. Well, I wish you all the best with Sweetheart. Thank you so much for your time, as ever. So
thank you.
And, yeah, good luck with everything else. That sounds very exciting.
Let's do it again, Scott. Have a great week. Thanks.
You too. Thanks, Joe. See you later.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey